Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Cancer. If Cancer is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so, this is a bonus reading for Cancer, and our card tonight is the Queen of Wands. Okay. Let's go ahead and see what these tea leaves have to say. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell and it'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a little like, hit the little like button or leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. I appreciate all the support. It truly does help the channel so much. Okay. So I feel like, I'm just looking at this as an arrow here. We have that immediate Diana energy, the huntress, right? Or also, aligned with Artemis. We have another arrow right here. We have a person standing here next to a lion. So I immediately am thinking like there are just real emanations of love. But I do feel like there is a sense of what is the word? There is a sense of maybe recoil or being very careful about this, being suspicious even, right? Now, I'm looking at the card, and this is from the deck, what is it called? I always forget. This is one of my favorite decks ever. It's the Carnival at the End of the World deck. And it's really pretty, actually. I like the back as well. Really, the art is gorgeous, but we do have the arrows here. So it is funny that they kind of coincides. But I feel like there's almost a sense of somebody in your life really showing interest in you or trying to reconnect with you, possibly. This could even be like your spouse or an established relationship, but it's just something about the way things have gone previously leave you very suspicious about what are the motivations here. Why are you kind of all like showing up with all of this love? Is this kind of, what do they call that? Love, B-O-M-B-I-N-G. I don't know if I'm allowed to spell it, but I'm not going to say that word. I'm trying to figure out why the algorithm has not been putting my videos out that much. I've not been in people's recommendations a lot. So I'm being careful with the words that I'm saying because it does affect the algorithm. I know. I don't like to be censored, as I'm sure nobody does, but it is what it is. We're going to honor the platform. We love you, YouTube. And just do what we can. See, doing a little bit of an experiment, seeing if it helps at all. But yeah, so we have the arrows. Suspicion, okay? Why are you showing up all of a sudden? I do feel that there is a sense of that lion coming out in you, right? That fieriness, protecting self. Now, here's the thing about a Cancer person. And I feel like I'm kind of an expert in Cancers. Only because I've had so many in my life. I'm not a Cancer, or at least I have no prominent Cancer placements, which I lament because Cancers, you know, I don't try to pick favorites, but I love Cancer people. My mom was a Cancer. My husband's a Cancer. I have a variety of other close Cancer relationships or previous Cancer relationships, and my favorite. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Aside from Gemini, my daughter's a Gemini. She's the best. But so when you are feeling cornered or frustrated or like, what is going on here? Are you coming for me? What's going on here? You know, yeah, you all turn into a lion. You go from that crab to a lion in about 2 seconds. I feel that, and this is that we have the person next to the lion. I feel like in this situation, yeah, you're feeling almost kind of, it's an invasion, right, of your state of being. You're just kind of going about your thing, doing life, and all of a sudden this person's showing up and really, really wanting to, you know, be in your consciousness, being a priority, being like very involved, spending a lot more time with you. And now, like I said, this could be that this is like your spouse. And it might just be that like you've been through a period of time where you're really focused on your own things, and you know you're both busy, and maybe there has been some turbulence in the relationship, but now they're really like making an effort to be around you, to really want your attention. And I almost feel like there's kind of a sense of, it's not resentment, but kind of, you know, being a little standoffish about it. Like, okay, what has changed all of a sudden, right? Now, again, it could be somebody from the outside, somebody you don't know that well, or somebody that's a friend, and all of a sudden they have these kind of amorous feelings towards you or whatever. So I do think that this is a symbol here of really tempering self. You know, having, yeah, that protective sense of, you know, lioness, but also keeping in mind that sometimes your reactions maybe don't match what's going on. Maybe sometimes we have to reel it in a little bit. Keep it under wraps a bit until you kind of see the fuller picture. What's going on here? What is actually your intent? Why are you all of a sudden wanting to be with me all the time? What is happening? You know? And that's what I keep thinking, like, you're trying to kind of estimate, what is all of this? I'm trying to figure out, why is this a big shift all of a sudden? And so definitely something to keep in mind when, yeah, you're feeling a bit annoyed or frustrated, or, you know, maybe it is that you had plans and you know, you spent your evenings doing your own thing or whatever, and all of a sudden it's this person or your partner or whatever, they want to do all these things together, and you have to ease into it. I think that's the thing. Baby steps, like a little crab, slowly crabbing over this way, right? And so just my advice here, and I really feel like this is the energy I'm getting, is trying to keep an open mind, right? Don't be reactive right off the bat. Don't wall yourself off. But yes, do it within your level of comfort, okay? Now, let's see. We have the number 6. So that's an important number this week. And let me just say, these readings are timeless. I don't put a time or a date on them. I know some people like when there are dates. I don't, because these are timeless readings, and when you watch them, they're activated. Time is a construct, all right? These are applicable to you whenever you find them and they find you. Okay, so we do have a little bit of a grumpy face over here. You can see kind of the eyes, the nose, the mouth is just kind of, But over here, so we have grumpy over here, but over here we have a person that has the one open eye, the all-seeing eye. And here we have a person who is lifting up a bird, and it is flying away. We also have that lion again. Okay, so to me, this is a real, it's a real scenario of going from being this kind of like grumpy, hermit kind of, I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to hear, anything. I don't want to be involved in anything. I just want to do my own thing, right? Which, hey, listen, I feel you. I hear you. But kind of letting yourself loosen the grip of control over these personal, I was going to say personal space. It's not personal spaces, but over the wall that you have up often, right? The armor that you are wearing. And maybe it's not that you're to have to let somebody in or to hang out with somebody or be around somebody all the time. But I do think that it's important for you to get into this place of spirit, of opening your mind. Now, this could be through, spiritual practices, techniques, meditation, postures, mudras, passes, spell work, whatever, tantra or energy work. So I can go, let me just list all of the things that I know about. No, I'm kidding. But something, right? It could even be that you're using plant medicine, okay? Altering your state of consciousness. And with that eye, wide open, as Terrence McKenna used to like to say, squeegeeing the third eye. And now I'm not going to promote that, by the way. Not the squeegeeing, but, plant medicine. Not that I'm against it, but, I don't promote that. I'm in recovery, so I don't really take a position either way. For myself, I abstain from things because I've done plenty in my own time. And now here I am, square, middle-aged lady, right? Knocking on the door of cronehood. But of course, one person's medicine is another person's poison and vice versa. Okay. So, I won't take a stance against it. And I'm sorry, I keep feeling like I'm going to cough, but, I feel like I'm maybe getting a little bit of a thing. I've been out in the rain a lot the last few days. We have extensive flooding in our area right now. And we were battling to keep the house from flooding the last few days. And let me just tell you, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted from it. Yesterday I had a nice cry, a pretty big breakdown, I would say. I sat in bed after being drenched for the 50th time out in the monsoon, and I cried hysterically until I fell asleep, actually, and took a little nap. So you'll have to pardon me. I am a little bit wound up, I would say. So so then we have the person over here with the bird. The bird is a message, right? Revelation, message, psychic, emanation, what have you. So it's not really the fact that you have to let this person in, this person that is kind of, loving on you or trying to. But I think the important thing here is that you are allowing yourself to get into these spiritual spaces. You are opening yourself up, your heart open, your mind open to the whims of the universe, okay? And being in a devotional posture, whatever that looks like for you. If you are somebody that has kind of established rituals and ceremonies or, religious practices, spiritual, esoteric, magical practices, or if not, maybe you are somebody who is coming into this, or you're very informal about the things that you do. I myself vacillate between the two. I often do just go off of my own inclinations and intuitions and what feels right in the moment. And so I feel that you're very connected. You have something to give to the world, to give to the greater unconscious. Now, it makes sense to me for you to be having a message. You are, one of the great signs of an artist, right? The Cancer people, often some kind of creative. If that means like you're an engineer, if you are somebody who, I immediately, for some reason, I was thinking somebody who is like a landscaper, right? You plan out landscapes, got your blueprints and everything. That came to mind because I'm thinking about, I have to go buy a bunch of soil to fill in some foundation stuff. But also, I'm going to be putting in a different drain system. So other than that, it's just different kinds of creative output. And you have something to share, right? What is it? I don't know. But I know you have something. So whatever it is, whatever your medium is or whatever you are inclined to, I think this is aligned with your spiritual work and your creative work. And when those two things come together, that is something that changes the universe. I mean, it does. It changes up the makeup of things, of how people feel around you, those who engage with your creative product or output. It will change their life in some way. So I think this is important that you honor this aspect of yourself. You have something to give. And I think that this will be one of the great works of your life, or at least something that is added to the greater magnum opus, right? Now, we also have that lion again. So I feel, there is the fiery quality really coming up in you. And that's where the work really is for the Cancer person, is not letting it lead you into rage or paranoia or, really in reaction to somebody wanting to be close to you, or trying to be close to you, rejecting them and totally isolating yourself, which I think sometimes is your instinct, right? It's easier to just be by yourself than to have to deal with somebody else's, mercurial nature. And I think that's a normal response, but I think it can also be quite limiting. So I feel like that lion really is a reminder of tempering self and attempting to open yourself a little bit where you can. you know, just to see how things go instead of just assuming how they're going to go, and then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay. Now we also have, up here we also have the dove, right? So I do feel like there is a place of ease coming out of all of this. Okay. Yeah, and maybe connection, right? I feel that there is a full heart. We also have the heart right here. Okay, so a full heart. And over here, we have, again, another dove. We have another bird sitting up here. We have a JS, maybe initials, JS. We have two hyenas sitting together right here. We also have the siren. We have a heart. Ooh, it's getting complicated. I was like, oh, doves and everything's going to be cool. But then we get over here and yeah, I feel like this is where your mind goes. Is this person a siren? Are they calling me to, you know, my end? If I let them in, is this going to destroy me? Are they going to hurt me? Are they going to betray me? And I think these are the things that really, I feel that you have a real difficult time kind of getting over, right? And if it's based in reality or not, I don't know. But I think that it's something that can be a hindrance, right? Lost opportunities to connect with other people who you might really have deep soul bonds with. Okay. Now we also have the hyenas up there. So I do feel like you also have this impression of people, and maybe this is because of how you grew up or prior relationships and friendships you've had. But the people around you will just tear you apart. You know, that you've had some unkindness in your life, people that have put you down, made you feel maybe bad about the things that you cared about or, you know, spent your time with. Maybe you've been kind of the black sheep of the family or bullied when you were a child. And so you just kind of get into this position where you think everybody's going to treat me that way. They're going to make fun of me. They're going to have something, you know, bad to say about, you know, how I live or my, you know, the things that I like. And I think that you can be really sensitive about that. But even more so, you wall yourself up so that you don't even have to get to the point where somebody would be knowing you enough to be able to hurt you, right? So, you know, I don't know. I'm an avoidant person myself for the most part. So I can sit here all day long and tell you, you know, try to open yourself up and do the thing, but I understand the impulse of not wanting to take the chance, you know. I can also tell you that I was in this very place, like dug in. I was fully into the life of a hermit. My whole existence was myself, my cats, you know, working and doing magical work. That's all I cared about. I did not want anybody in my life. And then my husband, who is a Cancer, by the way, shout out to my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot, Paul. Yeah, and I don't think he will mind me saying this because it was very sweet, but he really did pursue me for a while. And we courted, we dated for like 2 years. Long distance, by the way. Because I wasn't interested in changing my life. I wanted to be alone. And I didn't want to be hurt anymore. I didn't want to lose anybody. I had a lot of people who passed away in my life. And but here's to the point, right? I took a chance. I remember the very day. It was Easter. And I decided, okay, well, how about this? You can move out to where I live. We're both from California, but I was living in the upper Midwest. I said, you can move out here and we'll see. You know, we'll give it like 6 months and see what happens. You know, I love you already and I want to see where this goes. But I'm scared and I'm a difficult person and you already know all of this, but, let's, you know, if you're down, I'm down. And yeah, and he did, you know, within a month we were pregnant. So he moved in and then we, you know, married and pregnant within the first year. So you never know. You just never know. I can't imagine not allowing myself to open up just a little bit to see. You know, and I think that even with my husband, and I know I'm carrying on about him, but, you know, him being a Cancer, it wasn't easy for him to be the pursuer, but also, to open himself up, right? And take a chance with me. And, you know, we're both very caring people, but our personalities are very different. Very different. And so we complement each other. I believe every earth sign needs their water and every water needs their earth sign. We mellow each other out. We figure it out. Even under the most difficult circumstances, both of us can be absolutely irate about whatever's happening. Even with one another, we can be upset. We'll always figure it out. Well, we will come together to get the thing done. And, you know, I always say, I know Virgo and Cancer are supposed to be together. So if you have a Virgo person in your life, go for it. But yeah, you know, sometimes we got to take a chance, you know, we just do. And it's not perfect. Nothing is, right? We all have our problems. But, you know, sometimes those problems are blessings. I rather have the problems of the family I have now, which, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to go from being a single person who just takes care of the cats and themselves to having a family and a home and a business and everything else. You know, it's a lot to take on, but it's worth it. I would never have it any other way. And, you know, so here's my little planting a seed, right? You know, if you are in a place, Cancer, where you think, I'm never going to try again. I'm done. This is ridiculous. I'm finished with people. I'm finished with love. I'm finished with, you know, pursuing lofty goals or even dreaming. You know, I don't want to dream anymore because all of my dreams just turn to, you know, excrement. I'm going to plant a little seed of hope right there. I'm just going to put it in there. There we go. Life is, I don't know, life is a terribly difficult thing, but it's worth living, even through the thick of it. It is. All right, let's see. Let's do our little divine door card, and I'm going to flip through. I'm going to stop where it says stop. And I'm going to, oh, this is beautiful. This one, gorgeous. I love the gardens. I love groves. The doorways leading into, I was such a huge sucker for The Secret Garden when I was a kid. That's just absolutely my dream right there, living in a secret garden. All right, so we have begin here. Do not fear what travel brings, my dear. The moment is yours. Begin now here. Begin now here. Pass this card on. So these cards are meant to be passed on. I just keep them because I use them for my readings, but it is a beautiful deck. And actually, I don't always show it, but this is the deck, and I'm not going to try to. It's Andres and Gracia. I'm terrible at pronouncing things. That's usually why I skip over names, because I do not want to offend anybody. But yeah, all right, Cancer, I love you. Please like the video if you feel so inclined. It does help the channel. If you haven't subscribed, think about doing that. It's free, and if you want to leave a comment, please do. I read them all. They're my favorite thing about the channel. I love getting to know you. All right, with that, I will say good night. I love you. Take care of yourself. You're my favorite. Don't tell anybody else. And if you're cross-watching, I'm sorry. I also love you. It's true. So anyways, good night, good night, good night.